Angel Reese just got humiliated in Dallas, and it was embarrassing. The Atlanta Dream were playing the Dallas Wings on Tuesday night. Angel Reese grabbed an offensive rebound. She scored a putback layup over Odyssey Sims, a 5-foot three-point guard, and Reese celebrated like she just won the championship. The too small gesture, right in front of the Dallas crowd, and the entire arena booed her. Loud, relentless, brutal. Reese tried to wave them on, tried to embrace the villain role, tried to act like she didn't care. But the message was clear: nobody respects this. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark just drew 2.5 million viewers in her season opener. She broke 2 WNBA records. She's the most popular player in the league. And fans love her. One player gets standing ovations everywhere she goes. The other gets booed for celebrating a basic layup. Let me break down what happened in Dallas and why Angel Reese will never be Caitlyn Clark. Let's start with what actually happened, because this wasn't just a celebration. This was embarrassing. The Atlanta Dream traded 2 first-round picks to the Chicago Sky to acquire Angel Reese in the offseason. 2 first-round picks. That's the price you pay for a franchise player, for someone who's going to change your organization, for a star. And in her second game with the Dream, against the Dallas Wings, this is what Angel Reese gave them. Early in the first quarter, Reese grabbed an offensive rebound. Nobody boxed her out. The Dream's big was crashing the boards and Dallas didn't rotate. So Reese got an easy putback. Over who? Odyssey Sims, a 5-foot three-point guard, not a center, not a power forward, a point guard who's 5'3". And Angel Reese, who's 6'3", scored over her and immediately hit the too small gesture. Think about that for a second. You're 6'3". You scored over someone who's 5'3", a point guard who wasn't even supposed to be guarding you, and you're celebrating like you just posterized someone, like you just hit a game winner, like you did something special. That's not confidence, that's embarrassing. And the Dallas fans let her know it. The boos came immediately. Not just a few people, the entire arena. Reese was running back on defense and the boos were raining down from every section. And what did Reese do? She waved at the crowd, trying to get them to boo louder, trying to embrace the villain role, trying to act like she didn't care. But here's the thing. When you have to try to be a villain, you're not a villain. You're just desperate for attention. And WNBA fans saw right through it. Social media exploded after the clip went viral, and the reactions were brutal. One fan said, "Why does she act like finally making a basket is something to brag about? Embarrassing." Read that again. Finally making a basket. Because in her Dream debut against Minnesota, Angel Reese shot 4 of 11 from the field. 4 of 11. She scored 11 points and admitted after the game that it was rough for her offensively. So when she finally makes a layup in her second game, she acts like it's the greatest play of her career. Another fan wrote, "She hit 4 celebrations after one bucket where literally no one boxed out over a 5'3" player in a game she had 10 points. 4 celebrations for one bucket over a player who's a foot shorter than her in a game where she only scored 10 points. That's not superstar behavior. That's someone trying way too hard to be relevant. But here's what really exposes how pathetic this was. The fans said literally no one boxed out, meaning Reese didn't even earn the rebound. Dallas didn't rotate. The center wasn't in position. And Odyssey Sims, a point guard, was the only person anywhere near the basket. So Reese gets a free offensive rebound, scores over someone a foot shorter than her, and celebrates like she just dominated. That's not impressive. That's embarrassing. If you want breakdowns like this on Angel Reese, Caitlyn Clark, and everything happening in the WNBA, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now let me show you what Caitlyn Clark is doing while Angel Reese is getting booed. Because while Angel Reese was celebrating layups over 5' three-point guards and getting booed by entire arenas, Caitlyn Clark was making history. The Indiana Fever played the Dallas Wings on Saturday in their season opener. The same Dallas team that just booed Angel Reese. And you know how many people tuned in to watch Caitlyn Clark? 2.5 million. viewers across ESPN networks, on ABC, on Saturday afternoon. 2.5 million people wanted to see Caitlyn Clark play basketball, and that 2.5 million viewer number, that's the second most watched WNBA regular season game ever on ESPN's networks, the second highest viewership in league history for a regular season game. Not the finals, not the playoffs. A game in May, and it happened because Caitlyn Clark was playing. That's star power. That's what it looks like when you're actually the face of the league. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is getting booed for celebrating a layup over a point guard. Clark is breaking viewership records. Reese is trying to convince people she's a villain. Clark is naturally the biggest draw in women's basketball, see the difference? But it gets better, because Caitlyn Clark didn't just break a viewership record, she broke a performance record too. In that same game against Dallas, Clark became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 1,000 career points, 250 assists, and 250 rebounds. The previous record? Diana Taurasi, 62 games. Caitlyn Clark did it in 54 games. 54. She shattered Taurasi's record by 8 games. Think about what that means. Caitlyn Clark just broke a record held by one of the greatest players in WNBA history. A player who's been in the league for over 20 years. A Hall of Famer. And Clark did it in her 3rd season. While coming off an injury. While missing most of last year. While being mismanaged by her coach. She still made history. That's not just talent. That's greatness. And you know what Caitlyn Clark did after breaking that record? She didn't celebrate. She didn't hit the too small gesture. She didn't wave at the crowd. She just kept playing. Because when you're actually great, you don't need to convince anyone. Your performance speaks for itself. Angel Reese scored a layup over a 5'3" player and acted like she deserved a standing ovation. Caitlyn Clark broke a WNBA record held by Diana Taurasi and barely acknowledged it. One player is trying to force people to pay attention. The other player is so dominant that 2.5 million people can't look away. That's the difference between Angel Reese and Caitlyn Clark. Now let's talk about what this really means. Because Angel Reese is trying to embrace the villain role in the WNBA. She wants to be the player everyone loves to hate. The player who thrives on boos. The player who feeds off negative energy. And you know what? It's not working. Because villains are supposed to be good. Villains are supposed to be so dominant that people hate them because they're unstoppable. Think Aja Wilson. Think Breanna Stewart. Think players who win championships and MVPs and make you respect them even if you don't like them. Angel Reese isn't that. She's not dominant enough to be a villain. She's just annoying. She's celebrating basic plays. She's hitting too small gestures over point guards. She's trying to act tough after scoring 10 points in a game. That's not villain energy, that's desperation. And the fans in Dallas saw right through it. That's why they booed her. Not because she's too good, but because she's trying too hard. And here's what makes this even more embarrassing for Angel Reese. The Atlanta Dream traded 2 first-round picks for her. That's an enormous price. You only make that trade if you believe you're getting a franchise-changing player. A player who's going to lead you to championships. A player who's going to be the face of your organization. And in her second game, Angel Reese is celebrating layups over point guards and getting booed by opposing fans. That's not what franchise players do. You know what franchise players do? They draw 2.5 million viewers. They break records held by Hall of Famers. They make history. Caitlyn Clark is doing all of that, and she's doing it with class. She's not celebrating basic plays. She's not trying to force a villain narrative. She's just dominating. And people love her for it. The contrast couldn't be more clear. Caitlyn Clark played against Dallas and the entire basketball world tuned in. 2.5 million viewers, the second most watched WNBA game in history. She dropped 20 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. She became the fastest player ever to reach 1,000 points, 250 assists, and 250 rebounds. She made history, and fans gave her standing ovations. Angel Reese played against Dallas and celebrated a layup over a 5'3" point guard. She hit the too small gesture. She tried to embrace the villain role, and the entire arena booed her. Not because she's too good, Not because she's unstoppable, but because she's embarrassing herself. Because she's trying too hard. Because she's not Caitlyn Clark, and she never will be. Some fans tried to defend Angel Reese. "I love Angel Reese, I don't care what anyone says," one person commented. "Respect to Angel for embracing it," another fan added. But even the fans defending her had to acknowledge how bad it looked. One person said, "Respect to Angel for embracing it, but woof. This is villain origin story WWE edition." Even her supporters think it's embarrassing. That's how you know it went wrong. And let's be clear about something. Angel Reese is a good player. She had 12 points and 16 rebounds in that game. Against Dallas, the Dream won. She's averaging a double-double. She can rebound, she can defend, she's a solid player, but she's not a superstar. She's not the face of the league. She's not breaking records. She's not drawing millions of viewers. And she's definitely not Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark is in a different stratosphere. She's the reason the WNBA just signed a massive new media deal. She's the reason games are on ABC, ESPN, NBC, and Prime Video. She's the reason all of the Fever's games are nationally televised this season. The league knows that when Caitlyn Clark plays, people watch. That's power. That's influence. That's what a real superstar looks like. Angel Reese is trying to manufacture relevance through celebration and villain energy. Caitlyn Clark is naturally the biggest star in women's basketball. And the fans know the difference. That's why Clark gets 2.5 million viewers and standing ovations. That's why Reese gets booed for celebrating layups. The basketball world has decided who the real star is. And it's not even close. Angel Reese just got humiliated in Dallas. She celebrated a basic layup over a 5-foot three-point guard. She hit the too small gesture, and the entire arena booed her. Fans called it embarrassing. They mocked her for celebrating over someone a foot shorter. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark just drew 2.5 million viewers in her season opener. She broke 2 WNBA records. She became the fastest player ever to reach 1,000 points, 250 assists, and 250 rebounds. Clark gets standing ovations. Reese gets booed. Clark makes history. Reese celebrates layups. The Atlanta Dream traded 2 first-round picks for Angel Reese. And this is what they got. Someone trying desperately to be relevant while Caitlyn Clark is naturally the face of the league. Angel Reese will never be Caitlyn Clark. And the boos in Dallas just proved it. What do you think? Was Angel Reese embarrassing herself? Or is she just embracing the villain role? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest on Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese, and everything happening in the WNBA. We'll see you in the next one.